This video is on question 46 of the 2012 TSA. Here we're asked which option most closely parallels the reasoning. So the passage starts off with the author saying that few tourists are likely to visit the town in the future. They write that the museum is the only thing in town that's ever attracted a substantial number of tourists. And now the museum is shutting down. So that's the whole passage. And what we want to do is to find the logical form of each of these sentences. But we want to start off with trying to find the logical form of one of the premises or reasons, rather than the conclusion. So a good place to start is to try and identify the conclusion so that we can find the logical form of the conclusion last. So have a go at trying to work out which is the conclusion. Well, sentences 2 and 3 seem to be simply facts. And that means sentence 1 looks like it's going to be the conclusion. And indeed, sentence 1 is supported by both sentences 2 and 3. And so sentence 1 is going to be the conclusion. So let's start off by trying to work out the logical form of the facts. 2 says the museum is the only thing in town that's ever attracted many tourists. So the logical form of this is going to be something like A needs B. Many tourism needs the museum. 3 says now the museum is closing, so the logical form of this is going to be not B, not the museum. And what's the logical form of the conclusion going to be? Well, the conclusion is saying, therefore, not many tourists. And we just said that many tourists is A. So the logical form of the conclusion is going to be, therefore, no A. So the logical form of the whole argument looks something like this. A needs B, no B, therefore no A. So now we have the logical form of the argument. Let's look at some options to see which matches this reasoning. So here we have our 5 options, and here we have the reasoning that's used in the passage. So let's take each option in turn. Looking first at option A, this says, I can't eat anything with gluten in it. Unfortunately, pasta has gluten in it. Therefore, I can't eat pasta. Well, what's the logical form of this going to be? Something like this. A needs no B. The food I eat needs no gluten. There is gluten. Therefore, this isn't going to be the food I eat. B, therefore, no A. And if we compare this reasoning to the reasoning used in the passage, we see that it's different. So A can't be. What about option B? Apologies, I meant to say that A can't be the right option. So taking a look at option B now. This says that my rash may have been caused by this powder. The rash came when I started using this powder and went away when I stopped using this powder. So what's the logical form of this going to be? Well, the inclusion of the words may have makes the logical form of this one a bit difficult to work out. And remember, in the TSA, we've got a very limited amount of time. The reasoning in B looks very different to the reasoning in the passage. So it's probably best to leave B till the end. And if we have an answer, then we've saved a lot of time. So moving on to option C now. This says that the only reason I get headaches is that I'm allergic to dairy. I'm giving up dairy, so I probably won't get any more headaches. So what's the logical form of C going to look like? Well, it's going to look like something like this. A needs B, headaches need dairy, no B, no dairy, therefore no A, no headaches. And we can see, if we look at the reasoning used in the passage, that is exactly the same. So C is going to very closely parallel the reasoning used in the passage, and it looks like a promising option. But let's check D and E. D says that if Moira was stung and didn't take these tablets immediately, she could die. So she needs to be constantly carrying these tablets. Now what's the logical form of this? Well, it looks something like, if A, then B. If stung without tablets, then she could die, B. Therefore, C. Therefore, she needs to always be carrying them. And this introduces a third variable, so we can immediately see that it's not going to be the answer. Option E says that every time I enter a home or house with a cat, I sneeze. You have a cat in your house. If I enter, I'll sneeze. So the logical form of this looks something like this. If A, then B. If I enter a house with a cat, then B, I sneeze. A, there's a cat, therefore B, I sneeze. And let's compare this with the reasoning used in the passage, and we'll see that it's different. So that leaves option C as the option which most closely parallels the reasoning used in the argument.